master room and we started praying. And while we're doing that, it kicked its feet out from underneath the bed, kicking it. Like, I guess joking around. I don't know what it was doing. But when it did that, why my friend, I said, I'm about to disown you because she walks over there talking about something, I'm about to look under it. No, you're not. You ain't finna look under nothing. Let's go to the living room now until it's time to go. So once me and her go back to the living area, she was like, girl, I just, I'm curious. I just wanted to see for myself. No, you don't. You don't want to see nothing for yourself. So she's like, I'm going to go look. Oh, okay. And you going by yourself. You going by yourself. So she goes in there. And I'm guessing that she looked under the bed, raised the bottom up, the drape at the bottom, and raised it up. And I guess they got hold of her hand. She said, like she screamed. I ran back there. She said, something touched my arm. Why would you put your arm? Girl, y'all, she pissed me off. I'm thinking about it now. Anyway, so we go back to the living room. It's 4 a.m. I tell my mama, I call her. Yes, I called my mama at 4 a.m., told her what I saw and what was going on. And so she told me, she said, you know what to do. So started praying around there. I had the water that my mom blessed. Went around there blessing the house. But the thing got so aggravated. And next thing you know, I look up and it's 2 of them. And it got so aggravated that it started knocking stuff over. Now, remember, this is a 70s condo. Okay, this woman has been here for years at this point. Years. It's knocking down all her expensive stuff. This woman is loaded. All right. So it's knocking down, it knocked down this vase that she had. It was other stuff like up on this little shelf. It was knocking over everything. So once the other 2 people that was coming in to relieve us got there, it made it look like we did it. And still to this day, I think that they think we just went around destroying stuff. So we had to come up with a lie to say that the cats did it, that they were around there jumping around, because we just knew that she wasn't going to believe what was going on. Now, my friend that was with me did not see the things knocking it over. I saw the things knocking it over, but she saw them falling by themselves. But I will never forget when I was leaving, me and her decided that we were going to give that assignment to them other 2 girls because they wanted to do night shift. So we decided we were going to go somewhere else. But once we decided that we were no longer going to be coming to that woman's house, we ended up leaving and we were packing some things up. We saw them things just standing there, and they were outside of the home. So I don't know if they were attached to the inside and the outside, but they were able to leave to be outside of the home. So the noise that we heard, maybe that was them coming in.
A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track a bit, and I smelt this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look, and found a dead body. The guy had clearly been there a while and wasn't looking great, all swollen and green and black with various runny bits. The local wildlife had also been dining well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark, and I was just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. It turned out he had committed suicide. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he would talk to me, and not nice things. Mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting place, and he wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams. What's the creepiest thing you've seen/experienced in the woods? Me and my friend Jacob rented a cabin in the northern Maine woods for a fishing trip last summer. The last night we were there, I woke up around 4 a.m. to the sound of a light outside clicking on and off. I sat up and looked around the cabin living room to where I didn't see Jacob. I figured I'd go check what it was while I was awake, so I got up and walked to the door where the porch light to the outside was clicked off. I turned the light on and saw him outside, probably 40 feet away, down the road from the cabin, past our trucks, with his back turned. Here's one creepy, scary story from one of my night shifts working as a nurse in a hospital a few years ago. So, one night, I was on a ward that had most of the patients discharged in a 2-floor small hospital. Me and the HCA, we were just finished settling the patients for the night at about 00 or 1 a.m. We were both starting to feel like someone was watching us. We started hearing taping noises on the machines we had just finished cleaning. We kept going to check if anyone was actually playing around with when all of a sudden we hear this massive thud, like something very heavy had just been dragged or dropped on the floor. At this point, we started both running towards the sound, thinking maybe it's one of the patients having a fall or something. We end up checking on all of them, then we started checking the empty room, with no avail. And then, to our horror, we end up in the ward kitchen in our search. To our horror, we find that the metal side table, that is extremely heavy, was moved from next to the wall, when all of a sudden, the kettle turns on. We started running, crying like our life depended on it. We ended up not using the kitchen all night, and avoiding it like the place we were so freaked out. We informed the coordinator, and then to find out that the following day it took 6 maintenance people to be able to love it. To this day, still nobody knows what and how it happened, but we still both remember the terrifying feeling of being watched. What do you think it was? Went on a mountain hike in Transylvania with a group of friends from school, and way up, after maybe 12 to 14 kilometers of trekking, we saw a house. Was in the middle of nowhere. It had a barn with a few animals, couple of cows, chicken, etc. As we get closer, we see a few people, a guy and 5 to 6 women. Not sure if there were more inside. The dude comes to greet us, barely speaking the language. We had a hard time understanding what he's saying. They lived without electricity, gas, anything. This is in the early 90s, so there's no internet, mobile phones to worry about, at least for most people. Anyway, they all looked weird, kinda dumb expressions on their face. We can barely understand each other. They asked us who's the president now and if we want some milk. They look at our clothes and shoes weirdly, curious, like who knows when is the last time they had human contact? Or maybe there were more crazies around those parts. Dunno. Not sure to this day what was going on. It's not typical in the region, so we kinda freaked out, especially 'cause the dude looked a bit disturbed, and we were too young. We were looking around to see if there's more of them. Paranoia was getting to us, thinking there must be a village nearby. What was also weird is that all the women kept their distance and never got close to us. Like he was guarding them, or checking us out, if it's safe for them. One of my friends kept saying we don't want their milk, and we need to go 'cause it's getting dark. We walked calmly for a while, then when we thought we're out of their sight, bolted like crazy out of there. Needless to say, we camped after a few hours, and we always had one person awake to keep watch. We told people that were living in the villages near that area about the mountain people, and they didn't believe us. They said nobody lives there, up in the mountains. What do you think? Who were they? If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. It would mean so much to me as I am growing my channel.